One of the most critical parts of literally any digital web project is to create a sitemap. And the reason why I feel this way is because after countless times of building digital products, I realized that in order to build something that is scalable, you have to build it for humans. And when you create a sitemap, not only do you understand the mindset of the user who is going to be maintaining the website, but also you understand the backend architecture and the number of pages that you're going to be creating, which inevitably helps with managing the scope of a project. And so today, let's truly unpack what it is to create a full-scale, enterprise-level sitemap. Hello everyone, welcome. My name is William, and I'm the founder of Zabal Media, and we are a UX UI design and Webflow no-code agency. And the purpose of this video is to talk about a sitemap. And actually, I feel really strongly about sitemaps because similar to, say, building a home, you probably want to know what the square footage and the blueprint of the home is before you start, laying bricks and picking the right sofa and painting that will go on the wall. Similarly, a sitemap is going to help you with any digital web project. For example, if you know the number of pages, let's define what are the sections within those pages. And this is going to get you one step closer to managing the timeline as well, so that way you don't go overboard and miss this tight deadline, for example. Being crystal clear about sitemaps will make all of the difference for your projects. Here's a recent project that we worked on for the company Hubelo. As you can see, this website was pretty involved, and it carried a lot of different pages with a lot of moving parts. Without overwhelming you all, I'd like to focus on some of the key parts that made this a successful project. First and foremost, getting aligned with the rest of the team. And that's why I always start with a legend. As you can see, the legend covers what a landing page is, template, modal, collection list, and collection. In many cases, the teams that we work with, they're relatively tech savvy. With that being said, not everyone comes with the same perspective. And so it's important for us to unpack this first before we get started. Now that we can zoom into some of the elements that make up this sitemap, I'd like to focus on the home page. So the home page is pretty straightforward for the most part. There's always a description for every single project and page. In addition to that, we try to unpack all of the sections so that way we can help the content team identify what content should go inside of the hero. Furthermore, in the CTA, what is the tagline? What is the call to action button? What is it supposed to say? And of course, last but not least, we cannot forget SEO. SEO is one of the most critical parts that makes a website successful. How do people find you? For that reason, I make it really obvious and clear for the marketing team to be able to write a title and a description for every project. And of course, what is a project without collaboration? So as you can see, inside of Figma, it's a pretty collaborative environment. I usually work very closely with the partners to unpack what it is that they have questions about and hopefully getting to a resolution sooner rather than later. If I can zoom out a little bit here, this is just one part of it. But if you were to zoom out and look at the organization, we're unpacking really what it is to do the information architecture phase of a project. So for example, under product, you have overview and your needs. And the reason why this is important is because once a designer gets into the design phase, in this case, the low fidelity design phase, when you look at the product dropdown, you have overview and your needs. Going back into the sitemap, this is why it's really important to unpack this early on, so that way it makes everyone's lives easier once you start getting deeper into the project. If I can go all the way down, we'll look at one of the most challenging parts of creating a sitemap. In this case, we're looking at creating backends and identifying the input fields required. During this backend infrastructure phase, it's critical for any designer or developer in this case to sit down and interview the marketing manager or the content creator, whoever is going to be inputting content into this backend. And the reason why that is because anyone can build a backend. But you see, the thing is not to build a backend for the developer's mind. It's to get in the minds of the content creator and then build the backend that makes sense for them. And so when you interview and you get inside the minds of the content creators, you get to understand how they're going to be using the system. and therefore you can create a better experience for them to input all of this content. And in this case, if we look at the blog, I interviewed a marketing manager, and in this case they were instrumental because I was able to unpack what it was that they needed from a back-end perspective. And due to that 1-hour session, we were able to identify all of the back-end input fields across the entire website. This made it extremely easy for the development team to then go and build this back-end for the marketing team. So, now that you've seen how we work on sitemaps here at Zabal, I hope that our explanation in this little video gets us one step closer to ensuring success for your next project.